Oh, yeah. Y'all knew I had to go live. There was no way that was going down. And we weren't going to go live for a minute anyway. I ain't done a good Facebook Live like this at nighttime in a long time. But, and I don't want to come across like I'm celebrating that Wakanda has fallen. But I told you so. I told you so. Let me hit the share button here real quick on this, and we're going to talk about Tate Reeves' press conference concerning Hurricane Antar destroying Jackson on the 17th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina destroying Mississippi. Let me hit this share button real quick. All right. So I watched that whole press conference for the most part. And a couple things that we noticed here, if you missed out what's going on, the state of Mississippi has officially taken over the Jackson water issue for the time being. The state has declared a state of emergency. Tate Reeves, the governor, has declared a state of emergency. The O.B. Curtis water plant has failed. A complete catastrophic failure. They don't even know what all that entails yet. They won't know until tomorrow. The Maddox Road well water plant system, however you say that, out there off Maddox Road down Highway 18 that pumps water that direction, it has failed. Don't know what's going on there yet either. I know some water pipes busted in South Jackson, Byram, out that way. It has a lot to do with all the rain. The system just can't handle it. So, complete catastrophic failure of the water plants and water system in Jackson. Like all the way failure. Like people can't even flush their toilets anymore. I talked to my parents a minute ago that live out there close to Byram. Hadn't been able to flush their toilets or take a bath or anything for a couple of days now. And I assume it's the same everywhere. I started hearing about restaurants closing down today. I'm sure a bunch more have, but I know that Olive Garden closed. I know that Kiefer's closed down, and I'm sure more did. Those are just two that I saw online. So here's a couple of the notes I made during the governor's press conference. As I said, Wakanda has fallen. It is the adults have had to step up and step in and get this thing fixed. I'll never forget, I said it on my radio show, I'll never forget that picture of Joe Biden and Kamala. It said, "Don't worry, the adults are on the way." Oh boy. Well, this is what happens when the adults actually have to step in and fix stuff. And I loved it. At the very end of the press conference, Tate Reeves said, "And we sat here tonight and we answered all of your questions because we believe in transparency." He dropped Antar straight in the grease for not being transparent and having a conversation with people about the water. And you can play with people's emotions on a lot of things. You can play your race baiting politics and all that crap. But one thing you can't play with, one thing that will absolutely piss everybody off is the water. You can't mess with people with water. You can't do it. Like, that's the one thing. It don't matter how rich, how poor, how black, how white, how Mexican, how Asian, how Middle Eastern, or whatever else you are, Indian. It don't matter how woke you are, how redneck you are. One thing that will equally piss people off is not having water. It's so I think this is something we can all come to agreement on. You don't have to like me, you don't have to like my politics. But if nothing else, you got to respect the fact that I've been one of the only people sitting here calling these people out left and right, other than Kim Wade and Kingfish. So, with that said, looks like the National Guard. Boy, how long have we been waiting on the National Guard? The National Guard will be coming in. They're going to start off with at least 500 troops to distribute water, drinking water and potable water. There is no water for fire. If your house catches on fire right now, it's going to burn to the ground. Just like all these cars we've seen, if it's got a note, let it float. If you ever wanted to get out from under your house note, now might be the time to let a candle burn all night in a place it shouldn't burn. I'm just kidding. I'm not giving anybody any illegal advice there. Don't catch a house on fire right now. Like, be extra careful. Don't burn any candles. Don't damn sure smoke a cigarette in the bed or on the couch. Smoke outside. Be extra careful. Don't do nothing stupid. You don't want your house to burn down because they cannot put it out. Let's see here, the other things. Yeah, so schools are going, all JPS schools are going virtual for however much longer that takes, which they should have been doing that anyway. I've been getting horror stories reported to me over the last couple of weeks since school started back about kids not being able to flush toilets and all kind of stuff. So I hate virtual learning. I think it's a detriment to society and to our kids' futures, but they got to do what they got to do. You'd have a lot easier time convincing me for virtual learning or selling me on virtual learning while there's not running water than you could during COVID. But that's just me. Let's see here. So today is the 17th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And it looks like Jackson just got wiped out by Hurricane Antar. Tomorrow morning on the Clay Edwards Show, Kingfish for Jackson Jambalaya will be my guest. He'll be coming on about 7:25. Kingfish is way more analytical than I am and can break down the numbers and all the details way better than I can. I'm just a pissed off guy with a microphone. Somebody said it was like, did the city shut the water off to the entire city? Sean, rumor had it that the city had shut the water off, but the state could not confirm that. And Kingfish said earlier that Jackson Jambalaya can report the state built. Hold on, let me back up. It said, contrary to some reports, the city is not cutting off water to residents. So my dogs are a little wound up. They don't like Antar either. Apparently that's just rumor about the city cutting the water off. I think apparently the water plant failed. And that is why the state is stepping in, and that's why there was a complete loss of water pressure. Y'all got any more questions here? I'm kind of checking out the comments here. Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Said, when will Jack citizens want better? Man, Patsy, I do not know. Hopefully, as I said a minute ago, water is the great equalizer between third world and first world. And people not having water and seeing who had to step in to fix it should say a lot, right? See, I'm just kind of going through the comments here, checking out any questions you guys may have. Miss Susan said, it's unforgivable that this tragic water situation was allowed to happen. Yeah, Kevin asked, what's going on, bro? Man, if you're just tuning in, the city had to take over, the state had to take over the city's water, complete water failure. Let's see, Rob chimed in, said, forget the water system, the state needs to take over the whole damn city. I agree, and hopefully this is a start to that. I think when they get in there, and Tate did say he has not spoken to Antar, but that Antar agreed through channels to whatever the state's terms to step in and fix the problem is. I mean, I don't know how intensive the fixing is going to be, but Tate seemed pretty resolute in the fact that they're not leaving until it's fixed. Now, what all that entails, I don't know. Does that entail changing out water pipes and like the complete infrastructure? Or is that just getting the plants back up and operational and staffed properly? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out a lot tomorrow. He was very clear about the fact that there would, in fact, be daily press conferences where they answer all the questions. And y'all know, I may have to go to some of these press conferences. I don't know. So let's see here. Lashaya, I hope I say your name right, asked, why are Jackson citizens paying water bills with little to no water? You know, it's a great question. I don't know. They shouldn't have to be paying the water bills during this time. But one of the reasons that the city is in this situation is because they screwed up the water bills and people couldn't pay them. So it's kind of a catch-22. It is the city's fault. But people still need to pay the water bill. You know, but no, not right now while it ain't working. They're going to have to prorate it. Somebody said, Clay for mayor. Man, I tell you what, that job don't pay enough to get me to move back to Jackson. Let's see, Justin said, what happened to the 1%, the 1 cent tax on 10 years ago, specifically for water? They built a convention center with that. So I guess bird baths for my daughters. Yeah, Hannah, I hate that, man. I hate it. Justin, what's up? Kind of going through here. I see my favorite buddy Adam that always likes to cuss on my radio show is in here. Thank you for not saying shit on my radio show today, Adam. Says, let's see, Blake says, law and order is the main problem. Need to call in the Bears. Capitol Police is doing a fantastic job but need help. Roger says the issue is the Antar is going to blame all this on. He's going to blame all this recent stuff on all the flooding, but we all know now that he is not afraid to gaslight. I mean, hell, he ain't a gaslighter. He's a flamethrower. I mean, like one of those big flamethrowers like they sell at the gun stores. Antar is not scared to light up the flamethrower and do some gaslighting. He will blame all this on the floods, even though it was clearly complete and utter failure before the flooding. Let's see. Daryl says, "Hey, brother, they don't have the mayor or the leadership. Jackson is a dang joke." Yeah, they don't, man. This is what happens when you just play mayor. It's just like our president right now, the illegitimate one in Washington. You got these people that are just playing these roles of mayors and governors and presidents. They're LARPing. None of these people are qualified to do this. It's just like, I got my title, you gonna respect my authority. They're not qualified. No, I'm not either, but I'm not the mayor. It don't take a genius to know what's going on. Adam says state is doing this for a reason. Absolutely, they're doing it for a reason. I think we're this close to a state takeover. I heard Philip Gunn telling somebody about it the other day. He said, they've never even had to consider it before. They don't necessarily even know how to do it because nobody ever really thought they would have to do it. And by the way, this is a really good beer. If y'all like light beer, the Yingling Flight, it's better than the Mick Ultra and has less carbs and calories. Yeah, it is. Stacy, it is a whole shit show. Ain't no doubt about it. Mike says, God help the good citizens that don't want this crazy. Yeah, look, man, my parents are there. My in-laws are there. My daughter's there. I got tons of family and friends there. I said this on the radio show this morning. I'm not fighting this fight for me anymore. I got out. I got out. I got my memories behind me here, and I got the cool sign out of the Sun and Sand Lounge. That's an original Sun and Sand Lounge sign. I got my stuff. Jackson helped book me up, man. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for Jackson. But I feel bad for the people that are there. I fight this fight for y'all. I get up on my radio show every day and I raise hell, praise Dale every morning, fighting for the citizens of Jackson. I know a lot of these restaurant owners and stuff, they don't want to do it because they don't want to be shunned or frowned upon, but trust me, I will do it. I don't care. Somebody tag Antar in this right now. Let's let him watch this. Rob says our mayor loves to slam Cadillac doors at these conferences across the country, but has no idea how to run a city. And then Victoria says, Lord help us. Jackson needs major help. Well, it's getting, like I said, the adults are here. We're going to see. I hope that, and I tell you what, I want to see what the apologists like Brad Franklin, Kamikaze, and that whole little woke Jackson crew. I can't even remember some of the other ones' name. One of them runs the comic book store and the record store, Offbeat. I can't even remember his name, DJ something or another. And then that fat fuck that runs the social media for the city of Jackson. I can't wait to hear their excuses. Oh, see, the state should have already done this. They only waited until it got as bad as it could so they could come in and look like the heroes. So that's going to be the narrative. The narrative is going to be the state waited till the absolute worst, to absolute failure to come in and save it. Because that's what they want you to think. That's going to play to their low information voter base. But he'll spin this. I put some thought into this over time. I think what Antar will do is he'll spin this into saying that he you had to let it fall all the way down, so it forced the state's hand to fix it. I think that's what that's how they're gonna play this. It's like just refusing to pay your bills and then filing bankruptcy and not paying your bills. I'm not advocating, and I'm not frowning upon that either. I've been through a chapter 13, so I'm not knocking anybody that's had to do that. It sucks, but I paid every penny of it back. But neither here nor there. A little off track there, but again, this is what happens when you. Let me take it back. I got something else I'd rather say. Let me quote Obama here. Elections have consequences. Elections have consequences. This is what happens when you continue to elect idiots. And look, this ain't just Antar. That city council, most of them ain't worth a shit either. I mean, let's be honest. There's a couple on there that are good, and that, you know, their hands are tied a bit, but, you know, and in the midst of all this, the garbage pickup. I mean, the garbage stuff is about to be really bad too, because Richard's Disposal, according to some sources out of New Orleans, is supposed to lose that New Orleans contract. They're not being paid on this Jackson contract. All hell's about to break loose. I see Therese April over at Dark Horse Press just issued a breaking news saying, let me pull this up. This is about the National Guard coming into Jackson. Y'all bear with me. I got my laptop here. I got my phone here streaming off of it, so I'm kind of multitasking. Bear with me 1 second. I just saw that. I want to read that story. But hey, how long have we been asking for the National Guard to come into Jackson? I mean, if you had told me 2 years ago, Clay, all you got to do is lose water for a month, and they'll finally come in and save Jackson. Well, if y'all watch my videos, you know I love it. Well, the good guys win again. And looks like the good guys are about to win again. The bad guys are going to lose anyway. Let's see. It says a state of emergency declared. There was a thing that I just saw come across the top of my phone about the National Guard coming in. I guess it hasn't pushed over to the main website yet. So it says, let's jump away from the drama for just a second and let's talk about water distribution. So the Mississippi Emergency Management Association, aka MEMA, is going to be taking over lead on distributing water and non-drinking water for the entire city of Jackson. MEMA has immediately organized water for fire safety. So apparently they do have some water for fire safety, but that'll be tanks, so that would be limited, I'd have to imagine. Anytime you got to get it out of a tank and out of a fire hydrant, it's going to be limited. Water distribution is also available at all fire stations from the city of Jackson. So you'll be able to get water at all fire stations. MEMA will have another water distribution organization set up for residents alongside the city's efforts. This will not be at fire stations. 18-wheelers are on the way with drinking water. 400 to 500 tankers are on the way to Jackson with non-potable water. I don't know why they call it non-potable, because it actually is potable, like toilet bowl. Yeah. But they say non-potable, I guess, because it's just water you put in a pot.
It's just not drinking water.
Yeah, it's not drinking water. But when I hear potable water, I think potty. Like water out of the potty. Anyway, that's just me. I'm a weirdo. That says residents need to continue to boil water and conserve water. So I'm going to drop the link to this. Therese and her team did a great job here. Let me drop this link in the comments. Y'all can go read that. It's got a great path to the whole thing there. All right, look, I'm not going to keep y'all long tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to say it one more time. The good guys are about to win again. Look, it's always darkest before dawn. It's always darkest before dawn. There's no way the state is going to let the city completely fail. Stay vigilant. Stay prayed up. Prayer works, government doesn't. That was the name of my podcast today. Prayer works, government doesn't. Stay prayed up. It will get better. I promise. Tune into the Clay Edwards Show tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. I'm going to have Kingfish on there with me. It's going to be a great show. I'm going to raise hell. I promise. I promise. Y'all are going to enjoy tomorrow. If you like what I do, you'll love tomorrow's show. We'll say that. Stay safe. Hit the share button on this. If I can do anything to help any of you guys out, let me know. Good night.